welcome back. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a little bit more in depth on how I do my mobile hairdressing business. I'm just going to show you through my actual kit, like what I carry, what I take around with me, and just a bit more in depth on like how I actually run the business. Before I carry on, if you could please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be awesome. Yeah, let's just get straight into it. So this is my salon, I suppose you could call it. So yeah, it's just a big suitcase. It is purpose built for hairdressing. I got it at my local hair mart, and it's basically got everything that I would need in there. So yeah, it's on wheels. It's got this thingy, and I just kind of carry it around in my car and take it to people's houses. I'm just going to show you. I'll start unpacking it and kind of explain what I take with me as I go. Usually when I go into someone's house, I will set up on their kitchen table or a coffee table, somewhere where they've got a chair kind of next to a bench where I can put all my things. And the first thing I'll do is put down a towel so that I'm not going to get like my, chemicals and make mess on whatever surface I'm setting up on. So, for example, I have got my nice little bleach proof towel set up on this coffee table, and I'll just set it up and show you like how I would normally set up for a client. I'm really sorry about the dodgy camera, guys. Okay, here we go. So, undoing my kit. It's very James Bond. I love this kit. So, we've got gloves, smoothing oil, scissors, and it all just kind of comes out like this. Well, there's nothing really that I need out of this section. Maybe just some gloves. So I'll just put my gloves down. I'm going to pack that back up now and get into the bottom half. Alright, so that comes off. And then I have got all my colours in here. And then this comes apart even more. I've got all my colours in here. And some Vaseline just for like going around people's hairlines and things. And then in the bottom compartment I have all my big stuff. So I've got a roll of foil that I might want to put out if I'm foiling someone's hair. I've got my lightener that I can put out on my towel, a hose which we don't really need yet, a dryer which we don't really need yet, a set of scales, my Olaplex. Alright, so this is typically my setup. So when I come into someone's house, that's the first thing I'll do is just, unpack my kit, get into the lower section where I've got all my big peroxides and stuff, and yeah, just pull it all out on a towel, always on a towel, just so that we don't make any mess in the client's house. And yeah, I'll just pack out everything that I kind of immediately need and get to work. And the greatest thing about my suitcase is that it all folds out like this. And so if I needed to use that as a trolley as well, I could like mix up, my color, put it here and kind of use that as my trolley as well. So it's really clever. I've got all my towels in here. Should have a cape in here too. Yep, got a cape. Yeah, pretty much that's everything I need in there. When it comes to washing people's hair out, that is a question I get asked about a lot. Most of the time, I just use this, which you can get down at the hardware for fairly cheap, $10. And it comes with a little attachment which just kind of adjusts to different people's taps. So most of the time when I'm washing people's hair, I do it in their laundry. Sometimes in their bathroom. Other times I will use this. Oh, and I also just wanted to show you one other thing you always need to pack is your own water, because not everyone is going to offer you a drink, and I don't always like to ask. But yeah, so I have this as well, which I'll sometimes take in my car along with just a cheap little camping chair, because that seems to work really well for me. I only really use this though if I'm doing like a complicated colour where I don't want to kind of tip the person over and wash it over the front. Like if I was doing a rainbow, for example, and I was concerned about like I didn't want the colours to run into each other, then I would probably take this. But most of the time I just kind of tip people over the front and wash it like that. But I will just show you, if you want to do it this way, how the best way to set it up in someone's house is. So I'll just take you into my bathroom and just use that as an example to show you. Me again in my bathroom. So this is how I would typically set up in someone's house. So I would bring this here. Do not make this mistake. This is the hose where the water will come out. Make sure you put it in their bath. I have done that before. Luckily not at someone else's house, but I have done it in my own house and it's not a great experience. So yes, so this is set up. This is the hose is going into a bath, and you can see all my little rubber duckies in there for my daughter. If they don't have a bath, you can use a shower, so long as that hose is going down, because gravity. I did try once to put the hose up like this into the sink. Don't ask me why I thought that would work, but yeah, it didn't work. And then what I'll do with my hoses, so we've got the client sitting here, chair will be set up in front of that, and then I will just attach my hose attachment to their sink, to their hand basin. So then I just kind of come over here like this, swap hands, this is really difficult, and then I would just, you know, wash them like that. So it's quite a simple setup. So yeah, as you can see, that's hooked up to the hose, and yeah, just like that. Very simple, easy to do in someone's bathroom. I hope that that hasn't made you too dizzy and too sick, but yeah, just thought I'd show you my actual setup. Yeah, now a question that I was asked is, how do I know what I need to take on the day? Because obviously you can't take every single thing with you, otherwise it would just never fit in the box. So the way that I know is because all of my communication with my customers happens through Facebook. So I will not go and do an appointment if they haven't sent me a photo of their hair and also sent me a photo of what they want to achieve. So they send me 2 photos, one of their hair goal. So I know what they have, I know what they want to have, so I know what I'm going to need to take. Yeah, and I just prepare for that. So if I'm doing foils, I will take my foil. If I'm looking at her hair and it's like a level 6 and she wants to go blonde, I don't know, I'll pack, you know, 20 volt, 30, you know what I mean? Like, you know what you are going to need when you see the photo of that client's hair. So that's how I know what I need to take. And I mean the obvious things like towels, capes, things like that. And also the little things matter. That's just something I wanted to point out. So little things that kind of make them feel like you are doing a good job. You're not just a dodgy hairdresser. And one thing that I will just point out that is not something that you would think is important, but that all my clients tell me that they really appreciate that I do for them, is when I'm doing a base color or applying a tint, I'll always just go around their hairline with this. And it's really old and manky, but it's Vaseline, you know, just to protect their skin. And I know it's a tiny little thing, but it matters. So many of them will say to me, oh, I'm so glad you're doing that. They never do that for me in the salon. So don't think that those little things don't matter. Do those little things, like put in the extra effort, go the extra mile. And you're not like mixing up your colors in a back room. So they're watching you. Be aware of that. Be aware that your customer is watching everything you're doing. So use a scale, even if it's just for bleach. I know a lot of you don't, you know, use, like, I know sometimes I get lazy too, but when I'm at a client's house, use a scale for everything, because they see that, and that's another thing that they will tell me, oh, it's good to know you're using scales, you know, such and such just mixes however much she wants. Like, no, professional, we're using this, we're using this, we're using gloves, you know, that matters. We are using Olaplex. So they see everything I do. So make sure that you do, you know, you don't do dodgy stuff while they're looking. And another one of those little things is also just putting a towel around their shoulders, like before you gown them up, you know, tuck that in, because you don't want to be coming to someone's house and accidentally bleaching their clothes. It's these simple little things that just make the service better and change their opinion of you. You know what I mean? Like, I can't stress that enough. It's the little things. Oh, shampoo and conditioner as well, I might just add. I always take my own shampoo and conditioner. I'll show you what I like. So generally I'll just take these. I'll use, you know, my Olaplex shampoo. I will take some purple shampoo, and I'll always take my favorite treatment, and that is the Sacred Mask from Pure. It's my favorite and I love it, so I'll always take that. Oh, and obviously my Olaplex number 2 as well. Sorry about the glare, it's really bad. Yeah, so those are a few of my favorite products that I'll take. What else was I gonna say? So something I'm often asked is it awkward when you're just sitting there waiting for their color to process? No. So what I mentioned on my last video that I do is I take a hair care sheet with me, and when their color is processing and there's nothing to do, I'll sit down with them and talk them through how they need to look after their hair. So this is what it looks like, and I've just made this myself. You can make one too, you know, with whatever instructions you want. So this is what I do. So it's how to look after your hair, and it's kind of like a step-by-step instructions. So the first thing that I tell them is try and only wash your hair once a week, use the dry shampoo to like push it out, and then I actually tell them how to wash their hair. Like, you know, 1 or 2 shampoos. I'll tell them make sure that you towel dry your hair before you put your treatment in your conditioner and stuff like that. Leave it in for 10 minutes. I'm really thorough about how to look after their hair, so I'll spend like 10 minutes easy just sitting down with a customer, going through this sheet, talking to them in depth about how to actually, you know, look after their hair, because you'd be surprised how many people just whack their treatment on sopping wet hair, like, so, you know, and they don't know. And then you tell them, oh, well, you know, the reason why we do this is so that the water doesn't dilute the treatment, and their eyes just light up and they're like, oh, wow, no one's ever told me that before. So, you know, little things, like I can't stress that enough. It's these little things that just make people fall in love with you. And so the next page, I have got my product recommendations. I don't take retail with me to sell just because I suppose I'm lazy. I could if I wanted to, but I don't really worry about it. If you wanted to, I think it'd be a great idea. So these are just, I give people product recommendations. I tell people my favorite products. So if they want to go to the shops and buy them, these are my favorite products that I use. And you'll notice there's a lot of options here. There are some professional ones. There are some ones that you can just buy from Kohl's, because let's be honest, everyone has a different price range. So I will always advise them to use the Olaplex and advise them to use, you know, the Sacred Mask and the Redken. But if $10 is all they can afford, then I really like this little Schwarzkopf treatment from Kohl's. And because I do a lot of the really crazy out there vivid colors like this, it's important that I'm letting them know how to look after it at home, because realistically, you know, you're only going to get like 5 washes before this kind of thing fades. So I'm telling them it's okay if you want to go down to Kohl's and just buy a little box of Live or buy a little bit of fudge and just maintain it yourself. Like I encourage that, because they're not going to be able to come and see me every 4 weeks. So, and they really appreciate me doing that and telling them, no, like, do it yourself. It's okay to do it yourself. It's not like a salon where I want you to come in every 4 weeks because I want you to pay. Like, it's not like that. It's just I'm telling you how to look after your hair, and that's it. Yeah, easy. So they really just respect it and appreciate it, and you'd be surprised how much time that actually kills doing that. Usually they'll make you a cup of tea or coffee as well, so that's quite nice to sit down and have a cup of tea. Rather than having to go and run and do someone else's hair in the salon, you're just sitting down, chilling, talking to your customer. Yeah, it's lovely.